Welcome to the schedule release episode of the Jungle Juice podcast. I'm Sam Gormley. He's Mick Nelson. Mick, it's here. The schedule, we've already started been piecing it together and all of this. It's kind of wild, isn't it?
Dude, I just hate that it's like, I wish we were just getting it all at once. We've been getting kind of leaks all day today. Sam thinks he has the schedule pretty much pieced together. Now the time slots might be a little bit different. But yeah, 2 minutes. We're going to figure out exactly what the schedule is, start making some travel plans. Sam already talked about wanting to go to New York. Talked about maybe going to Charlotte for the Panthers game. This will be our first away game, too. I've never been to an NFL stadium that's not a Bengals stadium.
I have been to one. I went and saw the Bengals play the Titans in 2017, and they lost. So I don't know that I'm allowed back in that stadium. But then again, since we got the juju off and they lost this past season, I feel like that I'm not actually bad luck. So I might actually be allowed to go back into the stadium for this year. But on our show, literally here in really any second now, Mick, they're going to post the video. We're going to watch it together, and we're going to see the entirety of this Bengals schedule. And I'm really excited. For one, all we know is Ted Karras is involved in the video somehow. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's a plus for sure.
And
sorry, I'm messing around with my sling right now.
Are you going to watch it? But yeah, so I think this is going to be really interesting. So we already know that almost guaranteed that here in a minute, we're going to find out that the Bengals are going to play the Patriots week 1.
Yes.
At home. And I think for me, if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I don't know that you could really ask for much more, because you are seeing that you're getting a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback in their first game at your home stadium. I don't know that you could ask for anything better than that when it comes along the lines of that. It is 8:00 right now, so we're pretty much any minute away from this being posted and we being able to break down, but we're going to be able to dive into this with you as well. What was your first reaction when you found out Patriots was the opponent?
I was so happy. I was really happy that we got the Patriots week 1. I mean, they've the past 2 years, they've had really tough matchups to kind of start the season. So like 2022, you had the Steelers at home and you had the Cowboys away. I mean, those were, pretty tough games to start the season. And then last year was brutal with the Ravens and the Browns. Browns and Ravens and back-to-back weeks. And yeah, so you get a little bit of an easier matchup. I think this is probably like the easiest opener they've had in the Joe Burrow era since 2020. I would say the Tyrod Taylor game where,
Fat Randy game?
Yeah, the Fat Randy game. You were talking about that Titans game you went to. I'm trying to remember. Is that the game? Wasn't there like a walk-off touchdown or something like that in that game?
Yeah, in the closing minutes. Because I think if my memory's right, Tyler Boyd had a big touchdown.
It was AJ. It was AJ. I think
it was. Yes, I think you're right. With about 4 minutes left, and then the Titans ended up scoring with maybe a minute and a half or something. And then I think Andy threw an interception or something along the lines of that. And I was heartbroken walking out of the stadium because at that time, that was not a great Bengals team, but that stadium was jam-packed with Tennessee fans. And it was awesome being able to see everything that went along with that. But a couple of other things that we know that are going to happen for the Bengals, at least what it appears, is right now, we can go ahead and show this, Mick, because this is posted on the Bengals app about 15
already
minutes.
Out.
It has not been posted.
Oh, the video hasn't been posted.
The video's not been posted, but right now this appears to be the Cincinnati Bengals home schedule for this year. So your preseason games, Bucks and Colts. And then you again open up against the Patriots. Week 3, Monday Night Football against the Commanders. Props to you, Mick, for predicting that last week of calling a Commanders home game. And without further ado, Mick, I think it has been posted right now. So let's
go ahead and throw the video out there.
Okay, here we go.
Are you writing the list down, or do you think it's probably already posted on like ESPN or something?
We'll find out, but here you go. We're going to listen and watch the Bengals schedule release video right now.
Welcome to the 2024 season. Thank you all for joining us. It's going to be a heck of a year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be rough, and it's going to be the hardest 7 months of your life. We're on a journey now, fellas. and we need our very best. All right, let's play some mascot football.
Hey, I'm trying to get crunk. C-R-U-R. Tell them how we gonna go. Tell them what they don't want. Tell them what they better go. Stand up, okay. Here's where you go to get you. Okay. You better get go to get you. A little bit more. Here's where you go to get you. Okay. You better get
Panthers week 4, called it.
The Cincinnati Kid. Came to get stop. No
Dude, look at the score on that one. 55 negative 55.
Dang, 63-0. My goodness.
just snap them.
Okay, good. Week 12 bye. There was some rumors that
that's-
it's week 5. That's much
great.
better.
People all over the world jump. Everybody in the bitches get drunk. Listen here, buddy, this ain't what you want. Blue 52, break. Back up, I'm sending you home, boy. Take you up out of the dome, boy. If you didn't know, you should have known, boy. Should have thought about changing your tone, boy. Better not let us get you alone, boy. Hands like we made a stone, boy. When we come out, you better be gone, boy.
I think I got that
Broncos.
week right, didn't I?
You did.
Hey.
We got the last 2 weeks. I like that.
That combines like all of Sam's favorite things in one video.
That was awesome. That was really well
Because
done.
That is your favorite one. That is your favorite halftime show is mascots
Do people not like mascot football?
just murdering children on the football field, and then you've got NFL schedule release. We get a full slate of primetime games. It seemed like we got the full 5.
I'm pulling up the actual schedule here, and if you give me 1 second, I'm gonna have it up on the screen, and we'll be able to break it down with that. But I think the video, well done.
That was
Well
awesome.
done. Well done, Bengals. I think I was very interested as to how it was going to go. I think that there was some intrigue about whether it was going to be a Simpsons themed video, but it appears that it was not. But I still think it was really well done, no matter what. With it, I'm trying to see if I can't see. I saved the picture, and now I can't find where I saved it, Nick. And if I was good
It's
at my
like
job,
in the
I would've-
ribbon. At least the home schedule's in the ribbon. Oh, that's just because they want you to buy.
Here we go.
tickets. We already bought
Here we go.
tickets. Yeah.
Here we go, Mick. I've got it. Bang. There is your home schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals this year, or the full schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals this year. In fact, I'm going to even try and make it look a little bit better as we're talking. But I think, you see, in fact, Mick, just go through what do you see?
Okay, so we got Patriots week 1, great matchup. Week 2, Chiefs. I was 1 week off when we were predicting these games. I think the NFL had the same thought process that I had, but I would say CBS probably just bidded for the game before the other 3 crews could do it. So I like week 2 against the Chiefs.
There we go.
Honestly, that's a game we might be able. Do you have a center game that week?
Off the top of my head, I believe I do, but I'd have to go and double check when it comes to that. But I mean, then you get week 3 Commanders,
Yeah,
which Monday Night
primetime
Football,
game.
and then week 4. I could give myself props, Mick. Did I not call it?
You
last
manifested this. So do you want to tell all of our friends here the backstory of that?
So
why you switched your weeks here?
So we did our schedule predict last week. I originally had thought that it was going to be Bengals against the Ravens that week, but I switched because I have something going on Sunday and Monday of that week of week 4. So the 29th and 30th, I have a work conference. And last year, there was a conflict for my work conference. And long story short, I ended up skipping part of the conference to go to the Rams Monday night game because my conference was literally across the river in Covington. This year, the conference is in Lexington. But Mick and we have been talking about going to the Bengals-Panthers game for a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it can't be a couple of years because this is just
We've been talking about it since we found out we were getting a 4th place schedule.
Correct. So 6 months, give or take.
Yeah.
And I just knew that it was going to happen week 4, Bengals against Panthers, because that's just how my luck goes. So we'll figure something out. If anything, I just leave right after the game and drive to Lexington. Week 5, Bengals Ravens, home 1:00. That kind of sucks.
I mean, I don't know. I like playing the Ravens at 1 as opposed to primetime, so I'm not against it.
Giants Sunday Night Football on the road.
Interesting.
So it's funny. So in the Houday Nation Facebook group, we did a poll on there that I put up that I said, predict what primetime games you think the Bengals are going to get.
Yeah.
And we had hundreds upon hundreds of votes. Only one of the matchups did no one vote for.
And it was this
Giants.
One.
It was the Giants. And I think this one kind of surprises me.
I think the NFL got a hold of your poll and they were probably like, you know what? We're going to show these fans something else here. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, and I guess I can kind of understand that. It's interesting. I guess the Giants got to get on Sunday Night Football at some point. Browns, week 7, on the road, 1:00. Eagles
1 week off on that one.
Eagles at home on October the 27th, a 4:25 game. I like that. I predicted that to be a prime time, but I like that it is still in that late window. And you want to know the thing about that, Mick, is that will almost guarantee be the first Tom Brady game for the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who bid on that. I would assume it's probably Fox, since it might have been CBS. Like, I don't know. It used to be back in the day, like if it were an interconference matchup and it was the home stadium was the AFC team, and the broadcast crew would be Fox, which primarily did NFC games. But now it's like, with this whole bidding system, I feel like it's like kind of a crapshoot between the two, which one actually bid for this game. But yeah, it was probably, I would assume it's probably Fox.
You would imagine so. And then you get the Raiders, a 1:00 game, week 9. Back-to-back years, Thursday Night Football against the Ravens. That's a crock of crap, if I do say so myself.
It's Joe Burrow's redemption. And also, I think the last one was also in week 10, if I remember correctly, or it might have been week 11.
It was it had to have been 11, because I remember that it was like the 16th of November or 15th of November, something in that realm, because I remember the next day I had to do a basketball game event and I was depressed throughout all of it. At the Chargers on November the 17th.
Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't get a prime time.
I think
the Giants game is prime time, but the Chargers game is not. And that might be one of the that also might be like a Romo Nance or a Brady. Who's with Brady? Burkhardt?
Yes, Kevin Burkhardt. And Brady with that. Then you get week 12 is bye week. So when the schedule originally came, or on the leaks and so on, it had the Bengals bye week of being week 5. And I think we both agreed, Mick, that
please, no. Yeah.
That was not going to be ideal. Week 12 might be a little late, but I think I would prefer a late bye week to an early bye week.
Yes. I would much prefer that, especially if you're competing for the playoffs. I think that getting that late bye week would be great. And maybe Joe Burrow will manifest his own aspirations there. Maybe the next time the CBA comes out, they can petition for 2 bye weeks.
And I'm not against that.
No, you want to see the best product you can on the field. And the best way to do that is to, get everybody to be a little bit healthier. And 2 bye weeks would do that.
After the bye week, you get the Steelers. So that's Thanksgiving weekend. I know it's December the 1st, but that's like the Saturday after or the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which I believe is the second straight year the Bengals have played the Steelers Thanksgiving weekend at home. If my memory's right, I'm almost positive that was this past season as well. And then you go to Dallas for Monday Night Football against the Cowboys. Anytime the NFL can put the Cowboys on primetime, they're obviously going to do it. So it's no real surprise that they get the opportunity to take that on Monday, December the 9th. And heck, that could be a huge December primetime game as far as odds.
Matchup right there. So yeah, that's
Mick. The Cowboys are in it. It's not a Super Bowl preview.
Oh well, Super Bowl preview quotation marks.
Titans mid-December, and then you go into a Thursday night game against the Browns. I think I mentioned last week that the one team, not counting a divisional game, that I didn't want to play coming and then have a Thursday night game right after it was the Titans. Now, I know they got a new coaching staff, but you still know that probably still some of that Vrabel is going to be in there. I don't love Thursday night game after that, but at least it is a home Thursday night game against the Browns. That at least makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off of the Vrabel comments. It's not even just Vrabel. Like, you have Brian Callahan coaching the Titans. If there's any coach in the league that's going to be prepared for Zach Taylor, I feel like Brian Callahan's probably the top of the list of coaches they're going to be playing against. So, yeah, I mean that's a brutal honestly 4-week stretch. Honestly, I mean that. Yeah, Steelers to Browns, I think is quite brutal. Honestly, Ravens to Browns is kind of crazy. It's a brutal 6-week stretch. Wow. You kind of got, a tough back half of the schedule again, like we have in the past couple of years, I think.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And then Broncos, you look that's 28-29. This is going to be similar to the Vikings game last year, where you have the opportunity of that potentially getting moved into a Saturday game or a Sunday game. That's kind of interesting along the lines of that. And then the Steelers will be the same thing. And that's the one that they don't have any times on any of the games because they're trying to get the best matchups based on playoff and all of that when it comes along with that. So that is the Bengals 2024 schedule. So Mick, so we said 1 point for correctly predicting the game in a week and 1 point for correctly predicting a primetime game, correct?
Yes.
So we tied 3-3.
Okay.
I got 2 points for correctly predicting week 4 being at the Panthers and week 18 being at the Steelers. And you correctly.
No, you only get 1 point if it's. You only got 1 point for the Panthers one. You just got that in a week.
That's what I said.
You said 2 points for the Panthers.
I said 1 point and 2 point, and then 1 point. So I'm meaning more a collective 2 points. One for the Panthers, one for at the Steelers.
Okay.
And then you got 1 point for correctly predicting that the Bengals would host the Broncos week 17. So that was your only correct prediction as far as schedule, at least off my first glance. And you correct me if I'm wrong. I have it in front of me, but that's at least what it looks like.
Then the 2 primetime games at home.
You get 2 points there, and I got 1 point for correctly predicting primetime at the Cowboys, which gives us each 3 points. So, which I can't tell whether we should be proud, disappointed in ourselves.
I'm a little disappointed. There was a lot of close ones there, but yeah,
we were close with it. But I think so. Let's go over those primetime games one more time. So you get your home primetime games, Commanders and Browns. Let's make our prediction right now. I think it's safe to say Commanders is Ring of Honor night.
Yes.
Is that going to be White Tiger then? Are they just going to keep the Ring of Honor White Tiger same thing going?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they did a white tiger for the Ring of Honor game, or for the Commanders Ring of Honor white tiger. Keep it going, and I think the stripe out will be the Browns game.
I can agree with that. I agree with that. So let's just for fun, I'm going to make another prediction here. So you get 3 alternate jerseys a year. So one is white tiger, which will be Commanders. I think we both agree with that. And I think you're going to get white tiger. Well, actually, I take that back. I was going to say white tiger at the Cowboys, but the Cowboys usually like to wear white at home.
Yeah. Oh,
so I was
yeah,
going to
but
say
they might wear their blues that game.
They might wear their
blues.
But, so I think you're going to get white tiger either Ravens or Cowboys, one of those 2 road games. And then when are the oranges going to come out? Eagles?
Probably the Steelers game again. They do it every time against the Steelers. God, I wish they got rid of this alternate jersey rule. Like,
wear it as much as you want.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys can wear white jerseys at home every single game, then everybody should be able to wear whatever jersey they want.
I think every team can wear their white jerseys at home.
They can, but still,
if the Rams could wear an alternate logo or an alternate jersey in the Super Bowl, not the Super Bowl against us, but Super Bowl 53 against the Patriots. I think it's Super Bowl 53. Is that right? Patriots Ram. I think it was Super Bowl 50. Yes, it was Super Bowl 53. Rams wore an alternate jersey in the Super Bowl. Of all games, the Super Bowl you get to wear one, but you can only wear 3 alternates a year. Like that's stupid. Like you're bringing the
Mark
fun
says he's
out
coming
of
for the Raiders game. That's good.
He's coming. Okay, I was gonna see which game was November 3rd. So the Raiders game, Marvin reunion. Can't wait to see Marvin on the sideline. Hopefully we beat him, but not because I don't like Marvin. I just want to see the team win. Yeah.
Let's go through. So for one, I like the preseason game for the Bengals is you've got Tampa Bay at Chicago, Indianapolis. So August the 17th is at Chicago. So you get a Caleb. I mean, that could be a big Caleb Williams game. Preseason game 2.
We'll see him quite a bit.
At Chicago, Indianapolis. I hope this becomes a thing again for the final home preseason game. Well, I guess I don't know that that'll be possible since they now have only 3. But I always liked when Indianapolis was the final preseason home game, just because it makes a lot of sense as far as being close. Tampa Bay being in there as well. What's up, Beckham? Appreciate you watching us there on YouTube. But I think it's interesting. So with the preseason contests. So I think you go Saturday, Thursday for preseason games.
Yes.
Which, in fact, I have it right here. Yes, so Saturday, Thursday for the preseason games, and then you get a nice little break going in.
Are you going to make any of the preseason games or no?
Probably that Saturday game. I would.
Okay.
I mean, it's.
I don't even know if I'd even go to the Thursday game.
Yeah, that might be one. Maybe we'll give away our tickets to the listeners that day or something.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want to go to the Thursday night preseason game, Bengals and the Colts? Maybe we'll find our doing this. Matt, we're going to, and Mick, I know I mentioned this in the chat and didn't really bring it up. We're going to dedicate, I think, a show to this topic this summer. Agreed, Mick? Because I think there's a lot to discuss with this. And plus, we need topics for really these next 2 months until we get into the preseason and training camp and all of that. I almost just said spring training. We might talk some spring training. I don't know. It's not like the Reds have given us anything.
Talked about doing like a fantasy football kind of maybe a couple of shows. Honestly, there's a lot you can talk about in fantasy football.
So, Matt, we're going to talk about that and give kind of our opinions because I think there's some really interesting things to discuss when it comes to the preseason. And I think it's the question that it's the biggest question I think Zach Taylor has this training camp is it worth it?
Yeah, I don't think the woes to start the past 2 seasons have anything to do with the preseason games.
And I agree.
I
think you point to it.
Very minimal.
You point to it. The last 2 years, what has been the common thread between the last 2 years? Joe Burrow's not been 100%.
Yeah. Joe Burrow didn't have a camp. the past 2 seasons. He also
that's the reason.
didn't have his most normal offseason, his most normal camp was him coming off of an ACL surgery.
Exactly. So I think that is a now. Is it like there's no chance that it has any impact on anything? No, of course not. I think to say it has no impact is probably silly, but I don't think it is as much of an impact as some people say.
I think it's minimal. It is a minimal impact.
I'm really interested to look at this. I want to look into some of the stats and see, like, what do the Chiefs do? What do the 49ers do? And see, what
you want to collect some data.
Exactly. I do want to collect
some data on the teams here.
I do. You're having some issues on your mic on that end.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, here, I'm going to mute you. Try unplugging yourself and plug yourself back in really quick, because I don't know how to describe what it sounds like, but it sounds really quiet. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go, and I'll unmute you.
All right, is that better?
You're using just your computer mic now, but it sounds better than...
Why am I using my computer mic?
Maybe. I don't know. Look in your settings, but we can talk. While we're doing that, I think the best way to do this now, Mick, is let's just go game by game. And we already went game by game, but let's just do a quick record prediction.
Does my mic work now?
Yes, it does.
Hey.
So let's go a quick record prediction for the Bengals. Obviously, we're going to do this again in August. But let's do it right now, and let's see how much it changes in the next...
Okay, yeah. Let's
3 months. Because why not, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Fine.
What, did you not want to do this?
No, we should do it. I mean, I'll give my more serious prediction later, but I think I've got a general idea of how
this is absolutely just for crabs and giggles. Because, on my next podcast, Mick, from the press box, Leroy and I are going to predict all 256 games.
Are you really?
Yep.
In a matter of one episode?
Yep. If we do it correctly, it should take us 27 minutes.
Okay. That's interesting. I'll have to tune in for that.
Oh, it's going to be a cluster F. Patriots. I'm going to say they open up with a win. Yes.
Win.
At the Chiefs.
I think we're starting out hot. Win.
I'm going to say they lose that one. Home against the Commanders, they bounce back and they pick up a win.
Panthers. Win.
What about the Commanders?
Oh, win. I thought I already said that. My bad.
Oh, I thought I might have talked over you when you did, but you were waiting a long time, and I thought you were about to predict a loss to the Commanders, and I was going to get real worried. I agree, win against the Panthers, and that's what you said as well. This is home against the Ravens. Yeah, they're picking that one up.
I'm taking L.
Ooh. So we're 4-1, as both of us have. At the Giants on Sunday Night Football.
Win.
Gosh. This is one that is going to be so interesting, because this could be like Daniel Jones' most important game of his career.
Yeah.
Like, this will be huge for Daniel Jones on what it is, because this might be their decision of what they want to do, or if they're just going to completely tank depending on what they look like coming into it. But I'm going to say, I'm going to agree and say a win. And that's what
there's no guarantee. I don't know when Daniel Jones is going to be back, because he tore his ACL last year. I think like midway.
Who even is their backup quarterback?
It's Drew Lock now.
Oh, that's right. Well, he almost beat the Bengals a couple of years ago. Are you saying win?
Yeah, Giants win.
At the Browns, loss. Eagles at home, win.
Loss.
Ooh. Raiders at home, win.
Win.
At the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, loss.
I'll take a loss on that as well.
At the Chargers.
I'll go with a win.
I'm going to say, since they lost to the Ravens, they're going 1-1 in this stretch.
Yeah.
Like, I feel pretty confident that they're going to go 1-1. They will win one and drop one. But then again, they get a ton of time to prepare for that Chargers team. That's something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Home against the Steelers, sure as hell hope they win.
I'm going to go with the win.
At the Cowboys, Monday Night Football.
I'm torn on this one.
I'm going to say a loss for right now.
I'm going to say a loss because we don't play the Cowboys well at all, especially at Jerry World. We can't play the Cowboys.
They've never won there, have they?
I don't know, but I just remember 2008, the Ryan Fitzpatrick year. They lost that time. Then they played again in 2016 and got absolutely murdered. And then they lost in 2022 as one of the Joe Burrow appendix games. So yeah. Oh, but I'm not sure how bullish I am on the Cowboys right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals haven't beaten the Cowboys in general since 2004.
Yeah,
they've not won in Dallas since 1988. That's the only time they've ever won in Dallas.
Hey, Sunday Night Football opener is Rams and Lions, by the way. Pretty good. Good matchup.
I think that one was released. Okay. Yes, we got that. Okay. So at the Titans.
Ooh, win. I'm going to go with a win.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Win. Home against the Browns. Yeah, they're winning that on Thursday Night Football. And Broncos at home. Win. Okay, so to put things into perspective, Mick, you are 11-5. I'm 12-4. But you have them getting swept by the Ravens. I have them splitting. Because see, that's what makes this last game of the season so hard to predict because you don't know what.
You don't know what the circumstances are going to be. I definitely agree with that.
I'll say a loss.
I'm going to say it's a loss because I guarantee it's going to be a game that decides whether Mike Tomlin's going to go 500 or not. And Mike Tomlin's going to go above 500. So, yeah, win.
So
loss of week 18.
Our first glance is you have the Bengals going 11-6, and I have the Bengals going 12-5. I mean, I think
it won't change much either. That probably yeah.
And I don't know what Vegas has the Bengals line set at for wins, but I would assume
probably
10.5. 10.5 would be my assumption.
9.5. Let's see. I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, I would assume it's 10.5, and I think that's good. If it's 9.5, I think that might be free money.
We'll see. We'll preview the team before the season starts, but I think I am honestly very concerned as to what the run defense is going to look like this year. I don't think they had. I'm pretty sure DJ Reader provided a lot of concealer on the issues of the personnel you have in run defense packages. And now that he's gone, and who's going to start in his place? Like Sheldon Rankins, who's not even a nose. I mean, I don't know if that's a great idea. So yeah, I don't know. That's going to be, and then you have teams in the AFC North that love to run the football. Every single team that you play twice a year loves to run the ball. You're going to go up against Derrick Henry twice this year. You're going to go up against Nick Chubb at least once. I think probably twice, given where the Browns games are in the schedule as a whole. And then we let Najee Harris run all over us last year. Najee Harris.
Yeah, but okay, so let's look at that. So New England, is that Stevenson their running back still, right?
Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson are probably going to be in
so that's not one that scares you. Kansas City. An interesting thing with Kansas City, and I brought this up in our group chat too, is, when looking at the placement of that, is they very well could be without Rashee Rice that game.
They could be without Rashee Rice. And I think that was like kind of a factor into me deciding to side with the Bengals on that matchup. But they got Pacheco. Pacheco scares me, especially against our run defense now. So
Commanders.
That'll be fun. They got Brian Robinson. That guy got shot, so I'm scared.
Panthers, I'm not. If they lose, if we go to that game and they lose to the Panthers, I might just hurdle myself off of Bank of America Stadium, because that would be absolutely depressing. Because I don't even know who the Panthers open up the year against, but they very well are going to be 0-3. In fact, this hasn't even. But more than likely, I don't have the official schedule in front of me. But at New Orleans, home against the Chargers, at the Raiders, I guess they could maybe pick up one of those games. So they might be 1-2 entering that. But I mean, Ravens, obviously, we know what their rush defense is. The Giants, who's replacing Barkley in New York?
Oh, that's a good question. I know they got Tyron Tracy in the draft.
I'm Googling this right now because I'm
Yeah,
honestly
who
not
is
entirely
on the
sure.
depth chart? That's a really good question.
Devin Singletary. They signed him.
Well, he ran all over us last
He
year
did.
too.
He did. Browns, Nick Chubb. You've got Saquon Barkley with the Eagles. You've got the Raiders. Who they signed somebody. Who did they sign?
They got rid of Josh Jacobs. They have
They
Zamir
did.
White. I mean, they got. I don't think they signed anybody. They got Alexander Madison, but Zamir White's going to start over him. Bengals over under, by the way, is 10.5 wins.
Alexander Madison. That's who I'm thinking of. Not that that's a
I
huge
just said that.
signing, but oh, did you? Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was too busy. They did get Dylan Laube though, my guy.
Your guy, Dylan Laube.
Laube. So I mean, it's just going to be really interesting. I think how this season goes, but I think as a whole, I think it's decently balanced. But I think you've got to go 3-1 at the minimum to open up that year.
Yes. You got to start out fast. I think that,
especially with this schedule.
Yes. Yeah. I think this is about as favorable as the first 4 weeks as I think they could have got, even with the Kansas City game in there. I think it's pretty favorable for the Bengals to do something, So I think they got to start out fast. I mean, if they're not 6-2 or 7-2, 6-3 through 9 weeks,
so
I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, at the bye, we'll say that. So that's 11 games into the year. Gosh, that's wild that they're done with the Ravens week 10. I just now am processing that aspect of that.
Get those guys out of the way ASAP.
Done with the Ravens before they even play the Steelers. That's interesting. But I mean, you're looking at through the first 11 games. I mean, I think if you can split the Ravens, and then really, if you can then lose just one other game, and you're looking at 9-2 at the bye week, I think you're feeling really good. And I think it's doable.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Run defense, man. That's going to be the biggest. I think that is going to be the biggest storyline of the season, unless if knock on wood that it doesn't happen, like another Joe Burrow injury happens, God forbid, or or T decides to hold out, which he won't decide to do that. Apparently, reports is that he's pissed, by the way. But I think the run defense is going to be one of the biggest storylines of the season, just because it's not very good. It's actually pretty bad. I mean, your best run defender now is who? Logan Wilson, maybe Sam Hubbard?
Sam Hubbard, I would say.
Sam Hubbard hasn't graded that well in the run defense department the past few years, by the way. It's not just last year either.
Where he was hurt.
Yeah, no, I mean it's been a trend. So yeah, I don't know. I think I do like the schedule. It's fairly well balanced, like you said. No games. I don't think I have any conflicting games. Can you throw that back up there again? Just want to make sure. Nothing on Thanksgiving. That's great. I mean, you got the Steelers game that Sunday.
You'll be back in time for that.
If I came back for the last one when I was at my parents' 8 hours away, I'll be back for this one.
You do have Christmas smidged. I mean, technically, you'd have to be back from Christmas the 25th to potentially the 28th for the Broncos game.
Yeah, but I think that's doable. Like Christmas, usually, I probably start. That the 20th is probably when I'd leave and then come back the 27th. Probably do a full week, honestly. But yes. Yeah.
But I mean, I just love that, the one game on the entire schedule that I was like, I don't need I mean, it could have been a lot worse because it could have been a Monday night home game or something like that, which would have or Sunday night home game would have screwed me more, probably. But I just love that the one game that we've been talking about traveling to is the one, weekend that I have something going on as far as that.
They screwed you over 2 years in a row there.
They did. Well, they could have screwed me a lot worse last year, because like our conference 2 years ago was in Owensboro, so like that would have really screwed me.
Yeah, you would not. That would have just been a no.
I wouldn't have gone to the conference.
Yeah.
I would have gone to the Rams because I didn't get to go to the White Tiger game the previous year because I had a football game that night. And that's the one thing that I do like is that my Thursday night games are not during football season. Or at least not in a stretch of where there would be a Thursday night game. The only one potentially would be on week 10. And that would be they play that Friday night. So the only way that they would move it up to this Thursday is if there was rain in the forecast. And in that case, then, that's still a road game. So it's not like it screws me out of doing it. And I don't have my basketball schedule for December yet, but we'll figure that out when it comes. But I think I agree with you. As a whole, you've got to be pretty okay with what the Bengals schedule looks like. I mean, we already knew the opponents, but I think as far as balance, it's not too bad.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of it. Kind of looking at every other game now just to see what's going on here. A Friday night football game is insane. I don't know who the hell came up with that.
That's Packers.
Packers and Eagles. It's the Brazil game.
And that's on Peacock. That's another thing that the Bengals get too is I guess you have 2 prime games, but you don't have a Peacock game, you don't have a Netflix game or anything along the lines of that, which has got to make you feel pretty decent if you're a Bengals fan.
You got the easiest, I think, of all the streaming sources you could have done.
Because there aren't many people that don't have Prime anymore.
No, I don't think that's. Yeah, I don't think there are a lot of people that don't have Prime. Got a battle of Florida, week 1, Jaguars Dolphins. That'll be a good one. Oh, Broncos Seahawks again as a week 1 matchup. Don't like that. You should be allowed to like repeat a week 1 matchup for like 10 years. It's my personal take on that.
That's a hot take. Hey, I respect
it. What do you mean?
I'm not. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you at all when it comes to that. I'm more just like, hey, that the NFL might disagree with you a little bit.
Well, I think honestly, if you look at the Bengals, at least, I don't think we've had. I might be wrong, but like, I've been following the team since 2003, and I don't think we've had a repeat week 1 matchup since I've started watching. Maybe the Raiders. That's the only one I can think of.
Jets?
Raiders or Broncos? You think Jets? Yeah, no, Jets. Jets is one of them, actually. So 2004 and 2016. Jets. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because if my memory's right, weren't both on 9/11?
I don't know. But I think the Raiders might have been the other one because I think they opened against the Raiders in 2003, and then they opened up against the Raiders in 2015, if I remember correctly.
So, I mean, like week 2, you've got... Well, it doesn't even have a Monday. What do we got Monday? Sunday night on... Okay, I'm looking here at Google, and Google's got it all screwed up here.
I don't know. I'm on NFL.com. So you're looking at you want week 2?
Week 2, your primetime games. You've got the Thursday night Bills Dolphins. Yeah, what's your Monday and Sunday night?
Let's see. Sunday night Bears Texans. That'll be a good one. That'll be a great game to watch. Stroud versus Caleb Williams. Yeah, sign me up for that. I think you got Falcons Eagles on Monday night football.
Yay. Because I guess Kirk Cousins. I don't know. That might be one that'll be a Manning cast game for sure for me.
Thursday Night Football Week 3, Patriots Jets.
Well, the Jets have a ton of early season primetime games.
This
Like,
might be an Al Michaels like wanted off myself kind of game. That's
Jets Patriots,
yeah, because I don't know. I'm still not sure how I feel about the Jets. Another so Sunday night Chiefs Falcons. So Falcons back-to-back primetime weeks there.
And then they get another one week 5. 3 of their first 5 games are primetime. Week 5 they have Thursday night against the Bucks.
Really? Week
That's
5?
at least what
Okay.
this is at least what I'm looking at here. Now this was the leaks, so it very well, because it was not 100% at all. Yep, Bucks Falcons.
Okay.
Now that very well could be another game. Poor Al Michaels.
Yeah, poor guy. You got Jags Bills week 3, so there's going to be a doubleheader on Monday night with us and the Commanders, like there was last year.
Second straight
So,
year.
Jags Bills probably the better matchup, actually. So
that means that Bengals will probably get they'll be on ESPN, and then the other game will be on ABC when it comes to that.
Week 4, Thursday Night Football for Al Michaels, Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look, at least
God.
he gets Al Michaels week 6 gets Seahawks Niners. That at least is not. But then he follows it up with Saints Broncos.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh no. That's horrendous.
Rams
Bills.
Vikings the week after, which I guess is not.
Are we just looking up Al Michaels games to see how miserable this man is going to be?
I'm looking. The ones late in the year are the ones that I like to look at the most.
Broncos Saints.
Yeah, Broncos Saints. That's pretty awful. That's
Vikings Rams. That's
Okay.
great. That's a good matchup. I actually like Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to be good this year. I think they would have. I think, call me crazy, if Kirk Cousins stayed healthy, they were in the NFC Championship last year.
week 9 Texans Jets
That's
for Al Michaels.
depending on how
Rodgers.
Rodgers and the Jets do, which I still have my concerns about that. Because Aaron Rodgers still doesn't have a receiving core really, other than his cronies. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Got us and the Ravens. PTSD. Week 10.
Commanders Eagles the week after that, which is, I mean, that's not awful. Then you get Steelers Browns, which that's pretty
That'll be a
decent.
good one. That'll be a good game.
A couple weeks later, you got Packers Lions on Thursday night.
Man, they a bunch of divisional matchup games. Bears
Niners Rams after that. You've got Browns Bengals, Bears Seahawks. So yeah, you've got a decent amount of divisional games in there. In fact, I'm looking here. Bengals are they one of the only teams to have 2 Thursday night games? I guess.
I think so.
Baltimore technically does, but I almost put an asterisk by that because the first one is first game of the season. So that's technically Thursday night, but it's really not, at least in my eyes. Browns have 2 Thursday night games. I'm looking here. How about that? Browns and the Bengals. Okay, and then the NFC West, except for the Cardinals, they all have 2 games.
Okay.
Apparently they're not... They didn't want to put the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football?
I mean, do the Cardinals even have a primetime game this year?
It doesn't appear so.
Oh, poor bastards.
I wish that we had Cardinals-Panthers this year. That would be the perfect Al Michaels. Oh, they play one another. Cardinals at the Panthers, like Thursday night, early December. Al Michaels just hates himself.
Poor guy. Where the heck is the damn schedule at? Here it is.
Yeah, it's
I'm looking at the Cardinals schedule right now. Well, it'd be nice if ESPN got their heads out of there, where.
Yeah, I know it's a lot harder to look at right now than I truly expected.
Well, you know,
As far
ESPN,
as-
they can't do anything right. It's like Lowe's hardware. They can't do anything right for me either.
Oh, okay. ESPN's now updated on my end.
Oh, is it actually? No, well, better late than never. An hour later.
Interesting. So now I'm looking at all of them.
Yeah,
You
they
also
are.
get. So yeah, let's see if that Bengals game week 3 is in fact Bengals on. No, Bengals are on ABC, and then the Jaguars Bills is ESPN. That's a little surprising. That's a little surprising.
Cardinals actually do have a. I know you don't care, guys, but the Cardinals do have a primetime game
Who do they have?
against the Chargers in week 7. It says it's 9 p.m. What? That's weird.
It's an
9
ESPN
p.m.
game. That's a Monday Night Football game. Chargers at the Cardinals. My God.
Oh, it's a doubleheader. A double. How many Monday Night Football doubleheaders?
They have a couple doubleheaders this year.
Well, there's
fact,
at least 3.
That game said that it was. So that game's only on ESPN Plus, which is
So it's
hilarious.
really not a primetime game. It's it's like when you give your little brother the controller without the batteries. Yeah, we'll give you a primetime game, but it's only going to be on ESPN's paid subscription network.
That's honestly really funny. I'm just looking here to see. There are quite a few. There's like 3 or 4 Monday Night Football doubleheaders, which is interesting.
I've counted 3 so far. Through week 7, there's 3.
Yeah, and I'm on up to week 12 now, and I haven't seen another one as far as that. Ravens have a lot of Monday Night Football, which is not necessarily a surprise by any stretch, but
no, the Bengals are maxed out though on primetime games, so that's great.
Your look at Thanksgiving, if you're curious: Bears at the Lions first game, Giants the Cowboys second game, Dolphins at the Packers is the late game. So that's a pretty decent day of football.
Yeah,
I was a little worried, and it's a topic that I wish we had discussed last week, Mick. Is they usually alternate years recently for the Cowboys hosting AFC or NFC team.
Yeah,
look back. It's like the last 6 or 7 years they've done that. So they've broken that trend now, because I think last year they hosted the Commanders. No, they hosted an NFC team. They did. I don't remember as to who it was, but it was an NFC team. I remember in my look.
It's a Giant. It wasn't Giants again, was it?
It might have been.
I don't know.
It doesn't particularly matter as far as that, but I was a little bit curious if Bengals Cowboys would have been a Thanksgiving game, and I was not necessarily wanting that, because that's usually about what time we usually eat Thanksgiving, and I don't know that my mother would have appreciated me telling her I'm not eating Thanksgiving because I've got to watch this game instead.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, everybody speculated we were going to have the Cowboys game 2 years ago be on Thanksgiving. It ended up being in week 2. I remember that.
I do at least maybe get. I mean, I'm not giving myself any semblance of bonus points here, but I at least did correctly predict a Week 16 Thursday night game.
I just said against the Browns. Which one did you predict?
At the Cowboys Thursday night.
Oh, you picked that to be Thursday night?
I did, because I felt like that they would want the Cowboys on Thursday night at least once. So why not give? And plus, I was like, Al Michaels deserves a late season game that he doesn't hate himself. And that was maybe more of a homage to Al Michaels.
Oh.
Than a maybe.
I don't think they want to give Al Michaels great games. I think they're giving him bad games. It's like it's one of the best memes in all of it. All of the NFL. I think is
your Christmas Day games: Chiefs at the Steelers, Ravens at the Texans.
Okay.
Which are two. I mean, those are 2 decently solid games. Both of those games, though,
Netflix.
Are on Netflix, yes.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm for one interested. Me being the broadcasting nerd that I am, I'm interested as to who is broadcasting that game. Like, who are the announcers? And I'm just interested in everything that goes along with that. Just being the broadcasting nerd.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that too. I mean, I don't even know who they bring on for that.
I don't know if they'll end up doing where they'll still have like Fox will get one of the games and they'll have Fox announcers and it'll look like Fox. It's just on Netflix or something in the lines of that. But it'll be interesting.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely
Schedule.
interesting with it as the Bengals schedule. It's out. Plans can be made. Tickets can be season ticket holders can purchase tickets now. I think the general public can purchase tickets tomorrow morning for single game.
Wait, Can we purchase single game tickets now?
We can as season ticket holders.
Oh, I might be hitting you up on that Eagles game. We might need to talk about that because I think Sam wants to go.
That's right. She likes what's his name, doesn't she?
Yeah, she do. She do.
Well, when we're done here, I'll start looking and see if we might get lucky and there's some seats like right next to us or something that we can potentially get lucky on with it. But next week we'll be back. I know that typically next week is when they release the Ring of Honor nominees. So next week's show might be all about the Ring of Honor. We'll kind of dive through each of the candidates. That's at least what they've done in years past, is the week after the schedule has been released. And that's kind of when voting opens.
Is Gino going to be eligible this year?
That's a good question.
I'm not sure if he has one. He might have one more year to wait.
He might. And I think that, yeah. Because I think it'll be a really interesting discussion because there might not be slam dunk candidates this year, where I think every year we've kind of had slam dunk candidates. Whereas this year, I mean, Mick's favorite player, Corey Dillon, Dave Lapham.
I'm really worried Corey Dillon's going to get it this year.
He will. You heard it here
You
first.
think?
Yes.
I think it's likely. Do I think it's right? No. This is I kind of felt the same way about when Isaac Curtis came in. I was like, you had better. I think you had better candidate. Yeah, like Chad was a better receiver than Isaac Curtis was.
You're going to tick off our older fans, Mick.
The older. No shame on Isaac Curtis. I like Isaac Curtis, but Chad was definitely the best receiver in the history of the franchise. But yeah, Corey Dillon's probably going to be a hot candidate.
But
I'm hoping Lamar Parrish gets in. That's going to be
Lamar.
Going to be my vote. Yeah,
we each get one vote, so that'll be interesting. So we'll talk about that next week. If not, that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, as well as some more discussion about the Bengals. We're going to get you through the offseason. We've got some shows planned, and we look forward to that. Remember to follow us on our social media channels. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You can listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform as well. So, Mick, any closing thoughts about the Cincinnati Bengals schedule, or we just want to wrap it up?
Yeah, good schedule. Start purchasing your tickets. Hope to see you all at some home games, and hope to see you guys maybe at some away games or just one away game. I don't know. I don't know what's in the cards for us, but yeah, it was a good time. Good episode.
Sounds good. So until next time, for Mick Nelson, I'm Sam Gormley. Hoo day.
Hoo day. Thanks for watching.